Hey guys, and welcome to another great movie review. Today I will be discussing Now You See Me 2. Now I know I said I was going to do an Alice in Wonderland video and a Conjuring 2 video, and I will, I promise you. The only reason I'm doing Now You See Me 2 is because I have seen all three movies, and I really wanted to do Now You See Me 2 as well, because if you haven't seen Now You See Me 1, I encourage you to go watch it. It's actually a fairly good film, and this one is just as good, if not better. Basically, same kind of deal as the first one, but much more stuff going on. Yeah, this one kind of ties it all together, and from the ending, it seems like they might make a third one. I really hope they do. This is one of Jesse Eisenberg's, in my opinion, one of Jesse Eisenberg's, one of his better roles. I'm not trying to be mean, but it's not that I didn't like him in Batman vs. Superman. I did. It's just I didn't like him as much as I wanted to. Now, that being said, let's go ahead and go on with the review. Again, if you haven't seen the first Now You See Me, I encourage you to go watch it. It's a very good film. If you're into magic, card tricks, stuff like that, hypnosis, stuff like that, hey, this movie is totally for you, and you'll love it. I promise. And again, you'll also like the second one. Now, the second movie starts off with basically where the first one ended. They have joined the Eye. Basically a magic organization, takes in great magicians, stuff like that. Anyway, they have been in hiding for the past 18 months after their last performance, and Daniel Atlas, played by Jesse Eisenberg, is getting restless. He wants to be the leader again, basically, and he is upset that they are not doing more with their time. Anyway, so already from the very beginning you can see that there is a disconnect. There's already drama, right off the bat, which is good in some cases, and in this case it works out fairly well. And we see that their leader, played by Mark Ruffalo, has brought on a new girl onto the team because the old girl left. Now, I don't know why the actress left specifically. I don't know why she didn't do the movie. Things happen. Now then, with that being said, they all go to expose this multi-billion-dollar company CEO because he has a chip that will allow a backdoor pass into anybody's secret files through their phone, computer, etc. Scary stuff, right? And it will be sold to the highest bidder, so they want to expose him. And they go to expose him, and the plan is going well. So at first, but then it goes wrong, and they are exposed, and they have to get out of there. So they go to the roof, drop down a chute, and turns out that they land in China. And they meet Woody Harrelson's character's brother, and played by Woody Harrelson as well. It's a green screen effect, stuff like that. And he actually pulls off the character fairly well. He really does. And anyway, so they meet his boss, who played by Daniel Radcliffe, and he tells them that he wants them to steal the chip. The first three people say no, we don't want to do it, but then Daniel Atlas, wanting to be the leader again, decides this is our chance, this is our shot to prove ourselves, prove our worth. And so he says yes. And so they go to this old magic shop, and they meet an older lady and her son, and they get a few things for their mission. And they go on the mission, and everything's working out fine. Everything's going smoothly. They steal the chip, and it's a great sequence. I really love the sequence. I love all their magic tricks they did. it's just really great. The strings and the sleeves, um, throwing the card, hiding the card in plain sight, you know, the act of cardistry. If for those of you who do not know what cardistry is, it's again hiding, moving cards with your hands to hide it. If you ever, I'm gonna hate to spoil a trick for you, but I am. If you've ever seen a person hold up a card and then snap their fingers and it changes to another card, basically they actually have that other card in the palm of their hand, and when held and when they snap it, the fingers move so fast that I can't register it, but the change is so fast that, hey, he changed the card, that kind of deal. Again, sorry to ruin the trick for you, but the internet is your friend. If you want to look up the stuff, you can. Anyway, I loved the sequence. The sequence was really good. Love the acting in the sequence. This movie has its funny moments. I will say that it has its funny moments. It's not over the top action. I will tell you that right now. It's not over the top action, but there is suspense, and there's build up, and there's drama, and it's really, really good. Anyway, we find out that Daniel Radcliffe's character has been portraying as the eye that Daniel Atlas was talking to, or has been talking to for months now. And in comes Mark Ruffalo, who has brought along Morgan Freeman's character and broken him out of prison. And he saves Daniel Atlas, and then they proceed to... Daniel Radcliffe's character and his goons proceed to take him to this boat. And they have a little talk, and it turns out that Daniel Radcliffe's character's dad is the same character from the first movie that they exposed and played by Michael Caine. Anyway, so they put Mark Ruffalo in the same safe that his character's dad died in, and they drop it to the bottom of the ocean. And he gets out because it turns out that there is a little pin in his dad's watch, and there's a hole in the safe that if you put the pin in, it'll open the door. Basically he had the key on him the whole time. But he doesn't quite get out fast enough, so once he gets out, he's kind of just floating there. But then they save him, and they all go back to the magic shop. And they discuss what they're going to do. And they come up with a plan, and then they execute the plan. And their plan is to create a big diversion in London, where they're at now. They travel to London, and they create this big diversion by doing 3 separate shows. Dave Franco's character is doing a basic find the lady trick, but with actual people and giant cards, telling people find the lady, and she's over here, or oh no, she's over there, that kind of thing. And the new girl, her trick is doves, and she has a whole bunch of doves everywhere, and it's actually really cool. And again, this movie is funny, and one of the jokes is that she was like, "Oh, I have to open up. I have to let something fly. Oh, you sir, open up your fly." And he opens up his fly, and a dove pops out, and everyone's all clapping. And she says, "You approve of that relationship? That man had a duck in his had a dove in his pants." It's just hilarious. Again, you have to see the movie. Anyway, and Daniel Atlas is performing this cool water trick. In that it's raining and everyone's looking at him, and there's lights and there's strobe lights, but not flashing too fast. They're going at a steady pulse, fast enough but not too fast. Anyway, he goes, "Oh, I can't make it stop raining, but I can't make the rain, basically I can't make it stop raining completely." He's like, "But what if I can make the rain stop?" And the rain seems to stop. He's like, "Now how about I make it reverse?" And the rain seems to start going up. And I'm gonna spoil the trick for you again. If you see the movie, you'll know how it's done because there's actually a reverse waterfall machine in that magic shop that they were in. A reverse rainfall machine, I'm sorry. And this is basically the same thing, just on a bigger scale. Again, I'll ruin the trick for you, I'm sorry. It's basically using the strobe lights to make it seem like the water is stopped and to make it seem like it's falling in reverse. Simple. Anyway, well, the FBI at this point is after everyone, and they're trying to catch up to him, and so is Daniel Radcliffe's character trying to catch up to him, and they do. They catch up to him, they catch him, and they take him to a secret hangar and onto what seems like a plane. Well, what is a plane? Sorry. And there they put them in the chair, and he tells them to take off immediately, and they seem to take off, and they seem to be in the air. And they ask for the chip, and after saying no forever, they finally give him the chip, and it turns out the chip is real. Now, the reason I say that is because after Daniel Atlas saved Mark Ruffalo's character, it turns out that they scanned the chip and they thought the chip was fake. And so their entire plan was basically focused on saying, hey, we have the chip and we're going to use it. You know, that sort of thing. Pretending to have something when you don't. You know, calling a bluff, basically, is what they were doing. And so we see that the chip is real, and then they say, you know, toss him out the plane. So they toss him out the plane. And we think, oh no, it's the end for our heroes, right? That's where you'd be wrong. It turns out they pulled off a pretty damn good trick. In the sense that, as Daniel Radcliffe and Michael Caine's characters are drinking this specific type of wine, or champagne, I'm sorry, they both go, oh, it tastes weird, and they're like, it's not supposed to taste like that, is it? And he goes, no, it's not. And he removes the label from the bottle, and it says, and it's a card that says The Fool. And once that happens, the plane seems to stop, and you're like, why is the plane stopping? That's bad, right? When they're, in the air. Well, then you see the heroes looking through the windows and like, haha, come on. And it was a real plane. It just didn't take off. They pulled the trick and basically lured them to take them, and then had them throw them out the plane to make it seem like they were dead, when all the while the plane never moved at all. They used wind machines, the natural rain, they made it rain machines, stuff like that, to make it seem like they were taken off into the air. And as they were thrown off the plane, they just landed safely on, mats, stuff like that. And the whole while, everyone in the entire world is watching. And this trick, they said, it's the greatest trick because this person has brought himself back from the dead. Now, what I mean by that, and I'm sorry I'm missing so many things, guys. What I mean by that is Daniel Radcliffe's character basically had himself proclaimed dead and went to China and used all these backdoor business loopholes to earn money. And he did so because he wanted revenge on that CEO that I was telling you about earlier, because they were partners. Now then, again, they say he brought himself back from the dead, and everyone's cheering, and they explained how they pulled the trick off. They used trapdoors and such to switch the drivers of the truck from when they were caught. Then they used lights and flashing lights and cameras and stuff to basically blind Daniel Radcliffe and Michael Caine's characters, so they couldn't see what was really going on. All the while they thought that they had the people. And then the icing on the cake, they had hypnotized Woody Harrelson's character's brother, so that it was his idea to throw them off the plane, make it seem like they were dead. And so, with all that being said, the bad guys are captured, and the horsemen are going to get away. They get away, and they go back to meet with the Eye, and they finally meet the Eye, and then it turns out that Morgan Freeman's character was also part of the Eye. His act was the realist, and he was supposed to basically be in this giant magic act with Mark Ruffalo's character's dad, and they didn't count on his dad dying, and so he's had that all these years, and so that's revealed. And it's a really heart-touching moment. It really is. Because Mark Ruffalo's character has thought, oh, this guy basically killed my dad. Because again, he played the realist. This was basically the guy that was denouncing all magicians. Stuff like that, At the end of the movie, the horsemen go through behind this curtain, and there's a stairwell that, as you go down, continues to look like an eye. And with that ending, that's why I say that they might make a third one. I do not know if they will. I'll be keeping a lookout, and I'll let you guys know. Now then, with that being said, it's time to rate the movie. If I had to rate this movie, I would rate it an 8 out of 10. I really would. It was kind of long. It was a little long, but it was actually very well. Again, it was just as good as the first one, if not better. Also, the reason I'm rating it an 8 out of 10 is because it's basically kind of the same thing as the first one, but the only difference is that the horsemen were tricked into doing something they didn't want to do. That's literally the only thing that's different. Other than that, they're still one step ahead of everybody, still doing tricks, still doing stuff like that, so it's basically kind of the same thing, which I don't mind. These people, they pull it off very well. Very well. They pulled it off very well. Again, it's just, some of the same thing too long, gets tiring. So if they do make a third movie, I really hope it's not the same, kind of the same as the first and second one. You know what I mean? I do like movie series, and sometimes I wish they would make a TV series out of some of my favorite movies, so it could go on. But again, it's just that whole point of not wanting it to be the same over and over and over again, and excuse me, and that's the thing that worries me, and I'm pretty sure that's the thing that most moviegoers are worried about when they see another movie, a sequel to a movie they really liked, and they're like, you know what, this is great, but I don't want it to be the same as the first one. Again, it was different, just not by much, so that's why I'm also giving it an 8 out of 10. But I'm rating it so high because, again, it is a very good movie. The acting is good, the effects are great, the characters are amazing. Again, the actors fit into their characters really, 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 really well, and I enjoy that. Even Daniel Radcliffe, when I found out he was going to be in this movie, I honestly didn't know how he was going to fit into this. I really didn't. And you know what? He pulled off the part perfectly. He really did. He pulled off the part perfectly. It was like he was meant to be that part. And of course, Michael Caine, always a great actor. So, all in all, this movie, very, very well. Again, I encourage you all to go see it if you haven't seen it already. But I encourage you to watch the first Now You See Me if you haven't seen that one yet. I'm just one of those people that likes watching movies in order. That's just who I am. I have to watch the first one before I watch the second, and so on and so forth. You know. Again, I encourage you all to watch it. But yes, that is my review for the last and final time. 8 out of 10. Solid 8 out of 10 for that movie. The next movie I'll do movie review I will be doing is Alice Through the Looking Glass, and that one is going to be a good one, since it involves one of my favorite things, which I will not tell you about right now because I don't want to spoil it until later for you. But until next time, guys, that's another great movie review. I'll see you next time.